Well, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Christmas. Everywhere you look.
Yep, it's that time of year. Well, you should see it here. Shoot,
I bet you
it's a
guys
winter
got like
wonderland.
1,000 feet of snow up there.
it's been it's been a winter wonderland for like 2 months now.
I know we haven't had any snow, but we've had a lot of rain this past week, which we get like an inch and a quarter in one day. And
Oh my goodness,
that's a lot for us. But
they about flood you out.
well, usually yes, but since the rain was so little during the summertime, we needed it really bad. There was no flooding though. It was good.
Oh, I got you. Well, that's good.
But
I
yeah,
was gonna
I'd
say, what
love
are
some
you asking
snow.
for Christmas? A boat?
Maybe so for the moat that's around my house.
Oh shoot. Well, let's see here. I can't decide where I really want this mic. I don't really have this thing in a position where
Just need to hide behind it like I'm doing mine right now. Look like Wilson from Home Improvement.
yeah, right. Hello, neighbor.
Hey, neighbor. Hey, Tim.
Oh man. All right. Well, yeah, shoot. I guess this is gonna be Merry Christmas to everybody listening. I hope
Merry Christmas.
this is gonna air I don't know, probably a couple days before. And then maybe we'll try and put out a little after Christmas special or something. I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work out. But either way, Christmas is coming up. It's coming quick. Can't
Woohoo!
believe it's already here.
Santa's preparing his sleigh, getting ready to go.
That's right. All right. Well, before we get too far into this, let's get this thing rolling.
Let's go. Fearless.
Chase.
Bold.
Following.
Courageous.
Search. I'm Aaron,
And I'm Marshall.
and this is
Undaunted.
Pursuit. No, hold on a second. Oh, you got it? All right. Sweet. Okay. Love you. That's what happens when you share a podcast studio with a classroom and a multi-purpose room.
That's all right.
So there we go. Welcome back to Undaunted Pursuit podcast, where it's always crazy around here.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
So, yeah, like we said before, Merry Christmas. I hope you guys are going to have a safe travels, and I hope that you, Marshall, especially, better be safe. What are you doing? Eating a candy cane?
My wife brought me a candy cane. Yes, we're gonna be safe.
Nice.
We're getting in the Christmas spirit by eating candy canes, okay? But no, we are going out of town for Christmas. My wife and I are. We're going to Hot Springs, Arkansas, just the two of us. And I'm really looking forward to that. Maybe we'll get snowed in.
Oh, heck yeah. Yep. No, shoot. What made you guys decide to do that?
Well, we just didn't want to do something so traditional this year, like spending time with family. Not that it's a bad thing by any means, because we love our family and we love spending time with people. Right. But no, we just wanted to get away from home, from Texas, and we just wanted to get to a different state, somewhere that's prettier than where we live. And just kind of relax, just do our own thing. And, usually we go to Missouri and spend time with my family, or we'll go out to East Texas or Fort Worth and spend time with her family. And we love doing all those things. It's always a good time. Mm-hmm. But we just decided, hey, you know what? We just need to take some time for ourselves and let's just really enjoy Christmas together instead of spending all this time with everybody else. And we're also not doing the traditional thing of buying presents this year. We're not doing that this year. We're just pretty much the trip is our gift to each other. We may buy a gift or two for each other while we're there, but just not doing the traditional gift opening wrapping thing this year either.
Nice. Yeah, that's what we tend to do, the same thing most of the time. It really just depends. We buy the stuff that we want to buy throughout the year. So when it comes to like Christmas time and all that, we just kind of focus on the kids and getting them what they want, what they need, whatever, as usual. But
Yeah.
that's good for you guys. I know you mentioned that on the last podcast, but um, if you were staying, if you were getting together with family, are there any like Christmas traditions, Christmas, who knows, anything special you guys normally do for Christmas if you guys were to like stay home? I know for us, we make pizzas on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas morning, we have gotten into the tradition of making homemade donuts.
Oh, nice. I like that. You can't turn down a
Yeah.
good homemade donut.
Oh man, it's good. And
I
that's part of one
bet.
of those things. It's like because most of the time you're decorating, like some would do sugar cookies and whatever, but we're doing those before Christmas, way before Christmas, so we
Mm-hmm.
have sugar cookies to snack on, whatever. But then so the donuts are just like an added bonus on Christmas morning after the whole mumbo jumbo of opening gifts, because of course you know how kids are, they wake up at the butt crack of dawn, and then by 6 o'clock in the morning, you're done opening gifts, and you're like, okay, what else do I do? Now I can have my morning coffee. Well, let's
Uh-huh.
make some donuts. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. No. Yeah. So traditionally, if we were staying home, or, spend time with family, um, I like to, I'm still like a big kid, like I was, like you were saying, the kids like to get up really early. I'm kind of the same way. I mean, I sleep in a little bit later than I
Mm-hmm.
used to. When I was a kid, it was getting up at like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. Hey, let's open gifts. And the parents are like, oh my gosh, let me go to sleep, and, um, but, uh, for us, we like to just get up and, I like to go start some coffee and, just go have a nice pot of coffee. And my wife she'll usually get up and make a quiche, or like the night before she makes a good breakfast quiche so we can pop it in the oven the next morning.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I got to have a quiche. And traditionally, my wife has been making ever since we've been married. She makes these candy cane cookies. They look like candy canes, and it was a recipe that she got from her grandmother. And she's the only one in her family who makes them now.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else does it. And she makes those every year. And we'll usually make those for a bunch of neighbors. We'll pick different neighbors in our neighborhood, and her and I every year we usually go
Mm-hmm.
and pass out the candy cane cookies to different neighbors and stuff. Just something we started doing. It was her idea, and so we've kind of continued to do that every year, which is something we enjoy to do for neighbors. But we'll sit down and have some Christmas music on the TV and have our breakfast, usually after, sometimes before. It just all depends. And we just start opening gifts. We don't get in a big hurry, just kind of take our time. And then later on, we'll have a nice lunch and then dinner. And I've always liked me for dinners when it comes to like Christmas meals. I like that traditional Christmas meal. All the fixings, kind of like Thanksgiving. I like it all. What about you guys? What do y'all do?
Yeah. Well, hold on a second. Hold on. We got to take a break.
All right.
Oh, I got to crawl back in my hole here. Golly, now that they left the door open, got it all cold in here.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Good old back massager. Dude,
What
this
is
thing
that?
works miracles. It's a back massager, and it comes with different attachments, and it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
Interesting.
Bob and Brad is
Huh.
the brand.
Well,
So
that's cool.
Bob and Brad massagers. You know what? Y'all want to sponsor a good podcast? I've got some of your stuff, and it's pretty darn amazing. Contact us.
Heck yeah. Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
No, heck. Okay, so we're back now. I had to help the kids find a book in here. So anyway, either way, so what do we like to do? You kind of jumped ahead on me on that one because I was going to ask you what your favorite meal was, and we like to do so. We do turkey during Thanksgiving, and we do ham on Christmas.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's more ham during
Yeah.
Christmas than there is Thanksgiving. What's your favorite pie to have during Christmas? Mine's cherry.
Ooh, probably. Boy, that's a hard one. I would have to say a Dutch apple. Ashley's favorite is a Dutch apple, so I really like the Dutch apple. She can eat it regular, but I gotta have it a la mode. A Dutch apple pie is not a Dutch apple pie without ice cream, or yeah, however you put that. Either way, it's not a pie without ice cream. So it's got to have vanilla bean ice cream on it.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. What time is Christmas? When's that? What time is dinner for on Christmas?
Yeah, anytime you want.
There we go.
Okay, so another thing that's kind of a tradition, around Christmas time, and it's thanks to my grandma, is shrimp, like cocktail shrimp. You gotta have cocktail shrimp for, yeah. And it's funny because we used to go over to her house, and so she'd have a bunch of that cocktail shrimp, whatever. And I remember her making this salad. And I remember not liking it when I was a kid because it was like a salad with anchovies.
Oh no!
I wonder.
You lost me.
I wonder how I'd like it now.
I've never had anchovies, but I don't know. I just don't. That's one thing I have no desire to try.
Yeah. But I remember that. So the one thing that stuck with me. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, one thing that I really like food wise that I had growing up and haven't had in years is my grandma, the grandma that you know up in Missouri. She makes homemade cinnamon rolls from scratch. I mean, she rolls out the dough and all the good, and they are the absolute best cinnamon rolls. And nobody makes them anymore. And she's the only one, and she's getting to the age where she really doesn't, want to do it because it takes so long to do it. It's a lengthy process. But man, those were the best.
Oh yeah,
the best cinnamon rolls. I miss them.
I don't know. I think you obviously haven't had Ashley's, and we're in danger of turning this podcast into a couple podcasts ago. But okay, so I can't help myself. This fat boy likes to eat. So, of course, why wouldn't our podcast turn into some sort of cooking show?
Might as well.
Ashley does make her, yeah, she makes her own. She does homemade cinnamon rolls that are just to die for.
Well, my birthday next October, I would love to receive a nice package in the mail of homemade cinnamon rolls. Wink, wink.
Boy, I got a lot of stuff I got to send out to you anyway.
Come on.
I wanted to do something this Christmas, but you're not going to be home anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
No, we're not. I do have to say, I have to tell everybody, and I may have mentioned it before, but one of my coolest gifts that I've ever received from Aaron was a handmade knife that he made me, and it was for that Christmas. I believe you gave it to me when we came up to y'all up there in Idaho.
Oh, really?
And I believe that's when you gave it to me. But yeah, I love that knife. I got it sitting in my drawer in my bedroom next to my bed. That thing is razor sharp, man. I love that. And I think it's just so unique the way you made it. But it's a really, really cool gift.
Was it any good?
I haven't used it to really cut anything. It's sharp. It's just one of those sentimental gifts that I just hang on to. So yeah,
I've made so many knives. I can't remember which knife I gave you. Which knife was it?
It's it's got a smaller wooden handle, and the knife is kind of shaped it's kind of hard to explain it. It goes kind of like up and then cuts back, and then like this. It's kind of hard to explain without drawing it, but I'll have to show it to
Is
you.
it like a mini, like a mini meat cleaver?
Kind
Did I give
of,
you that
kind
one?
of,
The mini
kind
chopper.
of, a little bit, yeah.
Does it have a
Kind
bunch
of.
of file work on the back of the on the spine
Yeah.
of the knife?
Yep.
That
Yep.
was it.
Yep.
That one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I believe so.
oh, I gave you the creme de la creme. Then I mean,
Come on.
that was one of my better knives.
Well, I still got it. It's. I'll keep that thing forever. But yeah, it's a nice knife.
Yeah, if it's the one I'm
Yep.
thinking of, it was just a little. It was really cool because it had just a little handle. It was just at the time that I made it, the everyday carry knives that were popular were these like little mini choppers, and and I went real intricate with the file work on the spine of the knife, and then I think it was like a rosewood handle or something of
Yeah.
the sort, zebra wood
Yeah.
handle, and put a nice polish on it, I believe. Right?
Mm-hmm. And it's got a leather sheath you made for it.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
I'll send you a picture
Except
later.
I'm no good at leather. I'm no good at leather work, so it's probably a really crude. I think it did all right on that one. I don't know.
I
Heck,
thought it looked good.
either way, I need to make another one of those knives.
You should.
But yeah, no. Okay, so tell me this, Marshall. Um, here I'll go into my story first. All right, I gotta back away from the mic first because I can hear myself like talking. Let's try that. Maybe if I just went full headphones. Okay, so sometimes during hunting season, I'll watch this movie called Escanaba in the Moonlight. Really good show. Recommend it. Really good movie actually. And yeah. Anyway, so Christmas time rolls around, and of course, we've had all the kids kind of they'll be obsessed with the Grinch for the longest time, and now we're on to what is it? Is it Savannah? Is she obsessed with the Grinch right now? It was Hunter. Maybe Hunter's still obsessed with it. But anyway, what we like watching together as a family is Christmas Vacation. Do you like? It's an American classic.
We have been watching that. So Christmas Vacation, like the National Lampoon Christmas Vacations, all those, like the whole series, it started like back in like 1978 or something like that. With Chevy Chase.
Except you got to be careful. Yeah, you got to be careful though because um, some of them I'll let the kids watch Vegas Vacation and Christmas Vacation, but I won't let them watch the original Vacation or I won't let them watch European Vacation. So
Yeah, there's a few. We just watched one yesterday, and we didn't know it had some surprises that we were unaware of or forgot about because it's been years since we watched it. And Kelsey and I are both like,
yep.
"What? I thought this was a family movie." It completely shocked us, but they're all great movies. Some are just geared more towards adults only, and some are geared towards family friendly. So, but yeah, those are great. We love watching those.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had a favorite Christmas movie, but that is probably hands down the best Christmas movie that we watch every year. And I think it's a safe bet to say that it's the most quoted movie, one of the most quoted movies out there. That's what makes it a classic.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you there. I think one of my favorites is the original, The Christmas Story, and we watched all of those this year, all the Christmas stories, Christmas Story 2, and then the new one that came out, and every year we'll watch like the Elf, and we'll
Well,
watch all the Santa Claus movies, and what I really like to do, and I like to watch the old cartoons like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and like the really old ones because they're so nostalgic. But I like them. I don't know.
I'm
Whatever.
not a huge fan. A-
Really?
Ashley likes those, but
Mm.
I'm not a huge fan of the really old ones. I do like the Santa Clauses. Actually, by the way, have you seen the new one?
Yes. Yeah, we started watching
The
that.
TVs, the series.
Yeah. Yeah, we just started watching that. We're a couple behind because they're coming out like once a week or something. Uh, but yeah, those are the first one
Yeah,
was good.
it's good, but here's the only criticism I have for the thing, and it's like, and the only agenda that I can think that they're pushing it was really kind of like it made me a little uneasy when they misspelled um, "We love you." What it was supposed to be, "We love you, Santa," and they
Santa and it said
misspelled Santa.
Satan. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, what are you guys? Because of course we all know what Disney has become, and it's just like, come on, seriously, you're gonna turn a really good movie series, and then you're gonna put your agenda in there, because of course that's what that's not a mistake. You
Hmm.
you didn't have to put that into this children's show, but you're
No.
obviously pushing an agenda.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that, and and it made me disappointed in Tim Allen because my understanding about Tim Allen is one, he's a conservative guy. Two, I think he's a
Hmm.
Christian. And so, and I don't know if he had anything to do with that. I would think he had a lot to do with it,
Right.
with the movie, with the show in itself, because he's a star of all the Santa Claus movies. So yeah, I saw that. I haven't seen the episode where it shows that, but I saw it posted on social media a while back. And I was disappointed. I was like, the same way with you. I'm like, why? Why do we have to do that? Why can't we just leave it as innocent? Leave your junk out of it, all
Yeah.
right, and just let it be about Christmas. It just, yeah, it's disappointing. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's just like that's what me and Ashley looked at each other and we're like, seriously? I mean, the writers didn't have to do that. And like you said, Marshall, I was a little disappointed in Tim Allen that he would allow that into the show.
yeah, most definitely.
But I didn't know that it made social. I should have figured that it made social media, but I didn't know it did.
Yeah, when I saw it, I can't remember where I saw it, but when I saw it on social media, I didn't know if it was true or not. I thought it was maybe something somebody, edited or did something silly with and just trying to make a big deal out of nothing, like a lot of people do. It's hard to believe a lot of what you see out there
Mhm.
nowadays. You really have to vet a lot of things. But, the fact that you just really just confirmed it for me, because ever since I saw it that first time, I really hadn't looked into it much. But the fact that you guys have seen it, you
Yeah.
saw the show and you saw it, so that confirms it. But yeah, it's sad. It's messed up. It's like, come on, guys, just leave it alone. It's a good show, and the unfortunate part is stuff like that is gonna push viewers away, especially Christian viewers. Gonna be like, seriously, okay, well, I'm not gonna give you my viewership over that,
Exactly.
and I'm out. And rightfully so, because like you said, that wasn't an accident. That was intentional. That was intentional
Yep.
because they could edit that stuff out.
You're right. Well, they didn't have to put it in there to begin with. We've been on the verge of. I've already kind of self boycotted the stupid Marvel stuff that they've been doing because it's just stinking ridiculous, and because that's full of nothing but agenda. I mean, every new movie since Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, which I felt like I had to go take a shower after watching that, and I looked at
Mm.
the kids. I was like, "Oh, we shouldn't have watched that." That was bad. Ever since then, I've written off anything Marvel, and now it's like you almost have to write off anything Disney anymore.
It is, and even when we were kids, there were things hidden in Disney movies. I think they've been doing that for years. I don't know how long they've been doing that kind of stuff, but actually,
Right.
I watched an old Popeye the Sailor Man cartoon. This was like back in like the 40s, maybe even 30s. It was old cartoon that we watched one Sunday morning, and I was shocked that there was cussing in that cartoon. Um, and I'm not like freaking out about
No
cussing, but
way.
yeah, way. I was like, because back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, just people were. I'll admit, people were tougher and not as sensitive as they are nowadays. But uh, it was a
Mm-hmm.
different generation, and it was cleaner. Things were cleaner back then. TV shows, cartoon, it was cleaner back then. And so when I heard that, I was like, what the heck? I mean, Popeye was dropping bombs. I'm like, what's going on here? I thought this was going to be a clean, genuine cartoon.
Really?
But yeah, oh yeah. And I want to say it was probably in the 30s is when it was. Um, but yeah, so this kind of stuff's been going on for years. People, I think, have been shoving their agendas in cartoons, TV shows, and movies for years. You just really gotta. I think as parents and as adults, we have to be responsible for ourselves and our kids, and just really vet things, before we let our kids watch them, and even ourselves. And it's sad that you have to do that, but you have to, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's crazy, but it's the world we live in. Which y'all usually do that, don't you?
We do. We do.
Yeah.
If the kids go and say they want to watch something or whatever, I was like, okay, well, let me look this up, or let me. Not that I do a whole bunch of research on it, but yeah, I'll watch it, especially with as bold as they've been getting here lately. If it's an older movie that I've seen before, it is what it is. But hey, I guess we've been over this before. It always just kind of surprises me.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
know why
yeah.
it does.
Most definitely.
And so, but anyway, yeah, let me see here. So, let's see. Christmas.
Do you have a
It's
favorite?
a go
Do you
ahead.
have a do you guys have like a favorite? Maybe from your child, like a favorite pastime, something you did when you were a kid with your family, or maybe whatever that really stands out to you around Christmas.
I boy, I don't know. I don't know. Shoot, nothing really kind of stands out. Now, I guess this will be a good lead in to what I want to talk about next. And we may not get to chapter 4 tonight on this week, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll just go on this because it's Christmas time, Christmas themed, and we're getting to the main portion of it. So here we go. Um, one of the things I do remember is they would go all out on Santa Claus, and there was Santa Claus would show up. They'd all get all excited at Grandma's house, and I can hear him on the roof. I can hear the reindeer on the roof, and then all of a sudden Santa would show up with his big bag of toys, and then he'd pull out and he'd have toys for all of us and everything. That was always pretty fun. I always liked getting together at the grandma's houses
Mm.
for Christmas, and it changed when I got married. Because Ashley was used to opening presents on Christmas Day. Now, my family, this is something I'd like to hear what you did, because my family, we would always open Christmas presents on Christmas Eve, and that way we'd have all Christmas Day to play with it. So, um, even Santa would come on Christmas Eve. We'd be sitting there opening up presents, and Santa would show up, and in person and bring us gifts. So
Nice.
I was always used to opening them on Christmas Eve. How about you?
We would sometimes open a gift. Our parents let us open maybe one or two gifts, like smaller gifts, on Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would always open the majority of them on Christmas Day. Now, sometimes I did. And to be honest, sometimes I think that all depended on how many gifts we had that year. Because my parents always tried to
Yeah.
shop evenly for everybody. And sometimes it wasn't you got the same amount of gifts, but the same amount of money was spent on each child, because there was four of us, so you had to,
Yep.
I mean, you guys get it. You got five kids, so you understand how that is. But um,
Mm-hmm.
something that I really liked doing, I loved waking up early with the family and stuff. But I really liked it when all of the family got together. And when I say all of family, I mean like my immediate family, my grandparents on my mom's side, all the aunts and uncles, all the cousins on my mom's side, everybody got together, and we had a huge Christmas. And my grandpa, the one in Missouri that he used to always have a Santa Claus hat, and whoever there was always one person who would hand out the gifts, and that person was the Santa Claus. And that person had to wear a Santa Claus hat when they handed out the gifts. And for the longest time, it was my grandpa who would do it. And then eventually, as the grandkids got a little older, he would pick a different, grandkid to pass out gifts. And what we would do is when you got a gift, you opened it and you had to show everybody, and somebody would take a picture of it, right? Because it
Oh
was so
yes,
easy.
yes.
Yeah, it was so easy to rip into it and open up real quick and just throw it behind you. What's the next one? Yeah, thanks, and you're moving on. But it was, hey, what'd you get? What'd you get? Show it and take a picture, all this kind of stuff. But
Yep.
so that's something that I really enjoyed doing. And even on my dad's side of the family, we used to do that with. It was a smaller version, but still aunts and uncles and the cousins. We'd all get together out at my Mimi and Papa's house. They used to live on a lake house out in East Texas on the water. And so we'd have Christmas out there and have the fire going. And man, it was just a lot of fun. We go fishing during the Christmas and stuff. But yeah, it was a blast.
I remember. So things have changed since then because my family did the same thing that you were talking about, Marshall. That we would open up one gift at a time. One person would go at a time, and you'd open up a gift, and ooh and ah over it, and then the next person, then you would switch, and the next person would open up a gift, and then you'd all wait with a pile of gifts in front of you, and you were waiting to open them. Now with our 5 kids, you can't. It would be impossible for us to do that sort of thing with that many kids. So we just kind of Christmas morning, they get up, we hand them gifts, we start passing them out, they rip them open, blah, 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 and then all of a sudden, you should have seen, did I send you last year the picture of our house after opening up gifts?
I think you did. I
It
know.
looked like a stinking
war zone.
it was a tornado.
Yeah, I think you did send me that picture. I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Opening up, here we go, Marshall. Opening up gifts in our house on Christmas Day is like a fireworks show on the 4th of July.
just paper going all over the place.
Well, no, it's like, it's a whole bunch of setup for 30 minutes.
Oh yeah,
of show. So it takes you all day to set up. It takes you all night it takes you how many hours to wrap gifts, and then it's all over in a matter of minutes with a mess on the ground.
Oh, I know it. I have been a part of a couple families. So my wife's family, they always buy a ton of gifts, right? Tons and tons of gifts, and their Christmases last all day long. Christmas Day, like you're opening gifts all day long. Like you start opening some gifts and you have breakfast. When you come back and you open more gifts and you go have lunch, and you come back and open more gifts and you go have dinner. And so there, yeah. So there was another family that I was a part of at one point, and they did the same thing. It was literally Christmas lasted all day long. And as cool as it was, I was just like, can we get it over with? Because it's like, this is fun, but I'm like, there's so much to go through. But it's kind of cool to go back after each meal and, all right, let's go back into the gifts. So it is kind of cool. But yeah.
Yeah. That is crazy. I couldn't imagine doing that, especially as a kid, like having to wait. And it's like, okay, we're gonna open a little bit here, and we're gonna open a little bit there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What? Okay, so tell me, what? Do you ever get socks and underwear as a kid, or even now?
Well, okay, so yes. To answer your question, yes, I got socks and underwear as a kid, and most kids, I didn't like it. I was like, really, Mom, Dad, socks and underwear? You could have get me that any time of the year. That stuff wears out quick. But now as an adult, I'm asking for socks and underwear.
Yeah, it's like,
I look forward to that.
What do you want for Christmas? Well, Yeah. What do you want for Christmas? Well, I definitely want socks and I definitely want underwear because I ain't going out to buy them things for myself. So, yeah, I need them.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's so true. I'm actually, I was just talking to my wife because like I said earlier, we're going to Hot Springs, Arkansas for Christmas, um, and I was doing some laundry Sunday night, and I threw away three socks, one pair and then one random one, and because they had holes in them, and so I was like, I need to
Mm.
go buy some more socks, and I need to go buy some more underwear, but yeah, no, yeah, it's definitely got socks on there. What was? Can you remember? Um, maybe like your favorite gift that you got as a kid. I can remember one that I really liked. What was a favorite gift that you could think of you had as a kid?
Oh gosh, dang. I don't know. Hmm. Oh man. And that's the problem. I cannot think about, which is why we're thinking about now is we're going to get away from the toys and all that stuff. It's not happening this year because we didn't have the money to do it or the time to do it. But we're going to start getting more into these experience gifts instead, like cruises. And if we're going on a cruise that year, let's buy each other excursions and stuff like that. And or let's go. We bought you tickets to the dinosaur dig out in Colorado or whatever on the Colorado Utah border. Anyway, things like that. We're gonna go to Yellowstone this year, and all this stuff because I myself can't think of anything that was one of my favorite gifts that I really liked a lot. Like to be put on the spot like that. I can't think of anything just offhand. I'd have to actually sit and think about it. But Marshall, here's one thing. Here's what I do remember. And you gotta keep in mind that I have a good memory for most things, but when it comes to stuff like that, I don't have a good memory. you know, I can remember houses I delivered to 2 years ago, and but I can't remember what I got for Christmas. But I don't remember what it was like. I remember only a couple different highlights of things from when I was younger. Anyway, from below 7 years old. So um,
Yeah.
it's hard. So
Yeah. Oh
either
yeah.
way, but what I do remember, Marshall, is waking up in the middle of the night because we would hang our stockings on our beds. I think I'm pretty sure that's how it
Oh,
went. We'd hang our stockings on our beds. I remember waking up at in the middle of the night. I'd be so excited, and I'd wake up in the middle of the night, and I'd get my stocking, and it would be full of stuff. I loved the stocking stuffers, and I would sneak into the bathroom because that's where the nightlight was. I'd sneak into the bathroom. I'd dump that sucker out, and then it'd just be like little like finger board game things and stuff like that. It was just little knick-knacky stuff, and it was awesome. I loved that. Um,
yeah.
one thing here now that I've talked enough and given myself time to think about something, I remember getting. I can't remember if it was for Christmas or whatever, but when I was really young, I got a slot car track, but it was except instead of slot cars, it was what was it? Fighter jets. Oh man, that thing was
Oh, cool.
awesome because it
Yeah,
has to set it up on a table downstairs. Yeah, it was awesome. Loved
that's
that
cool.
thing, and it's still popular with my kids today.
You still have it?
No, I don't still have it, but the kids
Oh.
love slot car track. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I thought you had the same one. I was like, that's impressive. That's some people can do it, but I can't. One of one of my favorite uh, gifts that I got as a kid, and I was a little bit older. I don't know how old I was, but my brother and I, Kendall, we both got one. Um, they got both of us remote control. I think I had a bulldozer, and he had a
hmm
like an excavator. Is that what it is? And what the big long arm with the bucket on the end? Is
Yep,
that okay?
that's an
Yeah,
excavator.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
He had the excavator. Those things were awesome because we could literally go outside and push dirt around and if it was soft enough, dig, and those were some really cool gifts. We really had a lot of fun and got a lot of use out of those. But like yourself, when it came to Aaron, when it came to stockings, um, I really enjoyed that too. And I think that was the first thing we would open is we would, our parents always took our stockings off the mantle or wherever we were able to hang them. Um, Sometimes we'd have a fireplace and we just hung them on the TV entertainment center or whatever. Um, but we would wake up in the morning and our stockings would be full of, like you said, knickknacks, little toys, candy, all sorts of random things. And they would lay them in front of the tree. Um, and so we'd usually open up our stockings first and go through those. My wife Kelsey, she told me that that's one of her favorite things is stockings. She loves stockings. Um, and so I haven't talked to her about this yet, but I think when we go on our trip, I'm going to make sure we both buy gifts for our stockings and bring them with us and don't tell each other about it. Because, like I said, we're not buying gifts each other this year for the trip. Just because,
Yeah. So
like you
what is
said,
filling a stocking?
what is filling is talking, just, filling it full of, is that what you're asking? Like
Well, no,
what?
no. Not I'm not asking. I'm just saying it's nothing to fill the stocking and at
Right.
least give
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
each other a little something. It's just yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
And
how
it's
I was
something,
putting it.
right. Yeah, I got you. No, and that's, it's something fun. It's something to look forward to and cheap. Um, but I think that's what we're going to do. But like you said too, is the whole, destination thing. Cause you mentioned a cruise and I know that's something that your family and our family are looking forward to doing around this time next year. And so, and this year we're going
Hmm.
to Hot Springs. So, it's fun. We'll make some amazing memories, um, and just get to do some really fun stuff. And I think those sometimes um, those kind of gifts are the best. Because you get to not only do you have a memory and getting the gift of have a destination or whatever it is, but you get to go make more memories with that gift. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I mean, here's the thing. Here's where we're at with it is that we hear the kids talk about things we've done. They'll remember everything that we've done. Oh, remember when we were in Myrtle Beach? Remember when we were down in Florida? Remember when we went to the monster trucks and up in Canada and all that? But they can't tell you what they got for their birthday last year or what they got for Christmas the year before. So that is what is so important. And there's a lot of places we got to go. Back in 2020, before we went on the road, living out of the RV, we had things planned. We were going to go, before COVID screwed everything up. We were going to go to Florida. And we were going to Airbnb Florida and go do all the amusement park things in Tampa. And because that's a really good deal, by the way. So that's still on our list to go and do, is to go do the City Pass in Tampa and stay in St. Pete's Beach and all that. And then we still have yet to go do what we really wanted to do, is go take the ferry with our RV out of Seattle. And you take the ferry to Vancouver Island. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's Vancouver Island, and then go visit Victoria and all that, and to just since they've lifted those restrictions, because that's what COVID really shut that down. That was going to be a sweet trip, but stuff like that, So we want to go do that. We want to go back to Florida. Ashley's always wanted to go to New Orleans. Yeah, so there's plenty. We still have yet, and we live so close to it. We live within 8-10 hours of it, and we have yet to go to Yellowstone.
Oh man, my goal and dream is to visit every national park in the United States. I want to go to every single national park, and when you guys go to New Orleans, let me know because we're not too far away and we can meet you
Mm-hmm.
guys there. Um, that would be a lot of fun. And I've never been to Florida. I want to go to Florida so bad and go to those beaches. I've never been. I've been to so many other states and countries, but I've never been to Florida.
We're huge. We're huge shelling people. We love looking for seashells, and where we like to go in Florida is awesome shelling. There's some awesome shelling, and now I have a metal detector, and I would love to go to Florida and do some metal detecting. I would love to go. Me and the kids, or well, even Ashley, all of us got into looking for shark's teeth. And when we were in Myrtle Beach, I found a shark tooth, and it was just a little bitty thing. I had it on my finger, and I was holding on to it, and then all of a sudden I went to go look at it, and it fell off. The only shark
Oh
tooth we've
no.
ever found, and it fell out of my hand, and I couldn't find it again.
That's funny. Yeah, I think the only ocean. Well, I take that back. I was going to say the only ocean that I've been to is down in Galveston, uh, down south, but that's not true. Um, I've been to the Indian Ocean in India, so that's little bit further away. But I've been there, and it's dirty. It's a dirty, 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 dirty water.
Is it
I
really
didn't get.
about like Galveston?
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, worse. They actually say not to really go swimming if you're not from there.
No way.
Yeah, they say not to swim if you're not from there because your body's
Ugh.
not used to all the junk that's in it. It's just that dirty. So we just it looks pretty from afar, but we didn't get in it, because we were advised not to. But they do. The people there are swimming it all the time, but that's just their bodies are used to that kind of stuff. But yeah, absolutely, dude. I love to travel. I love to travel my whole life because I grew up doing so much of it with my grandparents on both sides of the family, and
Yep.
and I've stressed that to Kelsey so many times. I love traveling. I want to buy a camper eventually and just go, 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 go as much as we can. Just hook up in random weekends and just haul off and go somewhere. But doing it for Christmas, man, I would rather spend money on that every year than buy gifts, all for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always stuff we need. We can get that junk throughout the year. Let's spend our time, doing experience.
Oh yeah,
enjoying this world that God has given us.
yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, just here in the United States, there's so much beautiful land, and water and everything uh, that both of us have yet to see that I know we want to see so bad. So why not take advantage of it while we can?
Yep. So, well, all right. So, Marshall, we've got to add a little bit of something in here, but before we do, you've got to add a little something biblical in here. But before we do, what I want to do is I want to go over. So we haven't wrestled with this. We've always been like, okay, we all know that if we all know what the reason for the season is. The reason is to celebrate Jesus being born, and that is it's all about. It's not about the Santa Claus. It's not about the Christmas gifts. It's all about celebrating Jesus coming in human flesh into this world to die for our sins. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've read things here, not lately. I mean, it's been a month or two ago, but anyway, about people discussing this whole Santa. And I'm going to throw out a little disclaimer. If you have kids listening, then probably send them into another room or whatever if you don't want to. Because we're going to get to talking about Santa Claus. But either way, so here we go. So there's some parents that we're getting into the season in our lives where our kids are finally picking up on the whole Santa Claus thing and him not being real. And I've read things here lately about, some parents just choose not to even do the Santa. We always have one gift from Santa Claus,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't make a huge deal about it. We don't do the, I hear Santa Claus or blah, 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 and I see both sides of it. It's like the kids like the magic and the mystique of Santa Claus, and but we don't elevate it as much as we elevate Jesus in our household. But I can see where there are some people saying that, well, we just don't choose to even acknowledge that Santa is real or that he ever was real or whatever. Because we don't want our kids to be confused on, well, if Santa's not real then and you can't see him, then why do we believe in Jesus and not believe in Santa Claus? Well, I kind of want to get into this a little bit with you, Marshall, that the reason for that is we can back up the Bible is God's living word, and it is also a historical document. And it's been proven time and time again that Jesus is real, unlike Santa Claus, which is also is just a myth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, definitely. 110%.
And so I didn't know if you had any other thoughts on that, or what if I know you don't have kids yet and you don't have to really deal with that yet, but what if hypothetically, Marshall, if you were, where do you stand on that whole situation?
Of Santa Claus, you know,
Yeah.
like you said, because I don't have kids, I don't put a whole lot of thought into it. But I think if I did have children, and when I have children, um, I kind of agree with you, and I kind of feel the same way with you. Having a gift or two from Santa Claus, and showing some quote unquote magic and how Santa Claus is, and just telling his stories and just kind of having fun with it to an extent is something I think would be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, I think it's way more important to put the importance of Jesus Christ and the true meaning of Christmas and what that means way, way, way above Santa Claus and making a big deal. I'm all for having fun with Santa and you know
Exactly.
whatever, doing whatever to make the kids, have kids have fun with it. Putting Jesus first, I think obviously it's something I would do, but definitely make it more important. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just something that we want to stress, is the fact that, it's okay to do the fun things, the Santa Claus things with your kids, but um you got to make sure that you elevate Jesus more so. That we always try and explain to kids, like, yeah, we do all this fun stuff about Santa Claus, Elf on the Shelf, all that. But the real reason is Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And so here we go, Marshall. We're gonna start kind of wrapping things up here. We've gone really long. And what I want to do, Marshall, what I want to do is I want to relate this biblically. How do we celebrate Jesus's birthday? How do we really emulate what Christmas is about, and not just say what it's about? It's about Jesus Christ. How do you do that? Through giving. Through those, under the new covenant, is love God and love your neighbor as yourself. How do you do that? Through giving. That is the best. There is no better feeling to. I like giving, or I like helping, and it's not necessarily gifts. It's lending a hand, or providing a meal, showing that hospitality, just like we talked about on Thanksgiving. Carry that. You should be doing that already.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. So to tie into the love part of it, like you said, real quick, what is the true meaning of Christmas? Love. John 3:16-17. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. And that goes on and on. And I got something I'm reading here, but it says the real Christmas story is a story of God becoming a human being in the person of Jesus Christ. Why did God do such a thing? Because he loves us. Why was Christmas necessary? Because we needed a savior. Savior is our gift, right? He's a gift to us.
Yep.
And why does God love us so much? Because he loves, or why does God love us so much? Because he is love in itself. He is love. And so, and it goes on. It says, why do we celebrate Christmas each year? Out of gratitude for what God did for us. We remember his birth by giving each other gifts, like you said, Aaron, worshiping him and being especially conscious of the poor and less fortunate. So yeah, I completely agree.
So yeah, we're eventually gonna get to this in our Luke study, but here's what I want to read out of Luke chapter 6, verse 38. It's a really good one, and it talks about giving, and it says, "Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you."
Mm-hmm.
We may be taking it a little out of context. I just kind of pulled up a few verses on giving, but the main thing about it is that the Bible is full of giving more than you receive. So give with a joyful heart. Proverbs chapter 11, Proverbs chapter 11, verse 25, a generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed.
Mm-hmm.
That's why God has given us in our hearts a good feeling, feeling of accomplishment when you give, when you do something for somebody, when you show that hospitality. That's why you get that good feeling, as opposed to like getting something you don't feel. It's not the same feeling.
Yeah, well, giving and love was Jesus's ministry. I mean, everything he did, he was doing it in a way where he was giving of himself. I mean, he was giving when he was healing. He was giving when he was raising the dead. He was giving when he was loving. He was giving when he was providing the fishes and the loaves. He was giving when he was providing the wine at the wedding. You know, I mean, there's so many things that Jesus was doing. His whole ministry was about giving and about love.
Yep. And I'm going to read one more verse here, and I really like it because we can kind of expand on it real quick before we call it for the week. But another one out of Proverbs chapter 18, verse 16, a gift opens the way and ushers the giver into the presence of the great. I want to say one thing about that is not only does it show God's love, that giving something or doing something for somebody shows God's love, but it may also open up that door to further God's love and God's mercy to that other person. It may open the door to another person into God's kingdom.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree.
And so there we go. Merry Christmas, everybody. I think that's
Merry Christmas, y'all.
That's all I got for. I hope you guys have safe travels this week, and just remember the reason for the season, of course, Jesus. As you guys get together with your families and celebrate it, and all the gifts and the good food and everything, enjoy yourselves. We should all be happy. There shouldn't be, of course, always give thanks to God.
Mm-hmm. Give and love. That's what it's about, y'all. Give and love.
Yes, sir. All right, Marshall. Well, I think we're going to call it. And I think unless we actually have some time, we may just might not have a podcast next week because of the holidays. So I hope you have a good trip and safe travels to you, Marshall.
Thank you.
If we have some time, we'll get together. Of course, we keep in touch all the time. Anyway,
Oh, yeah. And I hope you and your family have a Merry Christmas.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, and if you guys really need something to do, go back and listen to our past episodes if we don't have one next week. So there's plenty there to listen to.
Oh, most definitely. There's tons there. Go have fun.
Yeah. So, all right. Enjoy some family time. Enjoy some time with your wife, Marshall. And we'll obviously be in touch. Probably not on the air, but we'll be in touch, of course, off air.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for listening to Undaunted Pursuit Podcast. We'll see you next time.
See you later.
See ya. Hey, guys, and thank you for listening to Undaunted Pursuit Podcast. Give us a good rating on iTunes, good review, leave us 5 stars, and follow us on YouTube. Click that subscription bell. Keep up to date with the newest episodes.
And don't forget to follow us on other social media outlets such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to email us at undauntedpursuit@gmail.com and go to our website at undauntedpursuit.podbean.com.
And don't forget, if you like what you're hearing, go to Patreon, follow us on Patreon, subscribe to our channel there. There's a small tier for donations. Any help, any support, this podcast is made possible by you, the patron. We thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Well, God says use the gifts that were given to you. To make disciples of all nations. By spreading His love and truth. do. And if it takes electric guitar, it's screaming to the top of my lungs, and that's just what I'll do. If it points down, if it points down to you, Father, help me point them to the sun. Help me reach the brighter goal than around in a gun, still on the run. You use my song to light a fire down in their soul. Cause there ain't nothing wrong with a lot of Jesus and a little rock and roll. If it takes electric guitar, screaming to the top of my lungs, and that's just what I do. If it points down, if it points down to you, Father, help me point them to the sun. Help me reach the brighter goal. They're running the gun and still on the run. Use my song